छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
MDH।
Arnab Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, it's Trump versus Putin. And Putin's given it back to Trump in a way I think Trump deserves it. At 8:25 tonight, the Lalu Prasad family drama, we have Tej Pratap's past ex-wife who's going to come and talk about all the trauma she was made to go through. And at 9 o'clock tonight, exclusive details of what Jaishankar told the parliamentary committee today and why I believe he's right when he says you question the government, you're effectively questioning the army. And on top tonight, I want to talk a little bit about why, in my view, Donald Trump is failing very badly and why he, in his own words, does not have the cards. Donald Trump, you don't have the cards. You're a leader of a country with a 36 trillion debt. Remember that every morning you wake up. You do not have the cards. And Putin just reminded you, Donald Trump, that you don't, in exactly the way that Trump told Zelensky. Now, the fact is, Putin has told Trump he does not hold the cards. And there is something deliciously patronizing in the way in which Vladimir Putin hit Donald Trump back hard and really hard today after Trump called him completely crazy to be bombing Ukraine last week. Putin said that Trump's reactions were proof of his emotional overload. In other words, according to Putin, Trump is not in control of his speech or his mind because he's getting anxious and worked up at not being able to get the foreign policy successes he so desperately wants. Because, you see, America is failing economically and Trump has to distract the attention of Americans into some foreign policy victory. But he's not getting any victory there either. There too, Trump is a failure. And you know what? Putin is dead right. Americans should realize that their president is getting frustrated because solving global problems requires you to be much more than a business bully on an American fiction TV program where you can fire everyone you want and anytime you want. You can't say you're fired to the South African president in the same way that you spoke to the Ukrainian. South Africa is a BRICS country, a major economy. And you can't talk down to every world leader and expect to get a deal done. Deals don't happen if you have disrespect in your tone. And what Trump needs to realize, and if he doesn't realize this now, 6 months from now, he will be made to realize it, that he is not the only elected leader in the world answerable to his voters. Others too are. Everyone is not a North Korean dictator who will happily fly down to Singapore to take selfies with you, Mr. Trump. Trump must accept it. Fact is, and he's going to hate anyone who says this to him. But the American people know this, and if they don't, someone outside America has to tell them, Donald Trump has taken on more than he can chew and he's failing. It's absurd to openly claim to want to build casinos and hotels and spas in Gaza. To go running and begging after Iran, even after they've snubbed you, because you desperately want that victory on foreign policy when your economy is failing. And so you're ready to do business with an ex-terrorist who had $100 million on his head from the CIA. And now you are saying, I'm going to help you run Syria because the Saudis have told me to? You completely sacrifice Any ounce of self-respect a nation should have. You get a 400 million plane free from the Qataris and then deny that you're going to use it. What a lie. And as you fail across the world, you come back to America and try to sue Harvard University, and you get sued back. Just imagine the mess that Donald Trump is in. He claims he ordered the India-Pakistan ceasefire only to keep utterly quiet after being publicly contradicted by the Indian government. Then he said, well, I may not have, but I helped. Rubbish. He keeps changing his line. And then after acting all so tough with the Europeans, now the same Donald Trump is looking for the slightest excuse, which he has, to defer the tariff imposition of 50%. The whole tariff talk is a disaster. There too, Trump has failed. And the fact is, Trump knows he's failing. And he doesn't like it. Everyone around him knows he's failing. And these are fair weather friends, like Elon Musk. The fact is, the American economy is close to tanking. And across the world, Trump must realize other nations know to negotiate, and the whole world is negotiating back. So where is Trump? They've realized the desperate man in the mix is a man called Donald Trump, who has no solution to a $36 trillion debt that his country is in. Fact is, Donald Trump and America does not have the cards. He should have been respectful to the world. But Donald Trump just overplayed his hand. And watch here on how things spiral for him. I was the one person who said Donald Trump will win the elections in America, and he did. And on several issues, he's correct. But you see, when you treat the whole world with disrespect in the way that Donald Trump has done, you better have the cards to back it up. If you don't, the whole world is going to do a deal, but without you. Let's debate.
Russia launched a fresh offensive against Ukraine following the prisoner swap. Moscow hit Kyiv with a record number of drones. Ukrainian media reports claim that 2 women were killed and 3 others were injured on the 25th of May during a Russian strike on the frontline city of Kupiansk in Kharkiv Oblast. Following Russia's offensive, US President Donald Trump called his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin crazy for launching one of the biggest airstrikes on Ukraine since the start of the war. Trump warned Putin that any attempt at a total takeover of Ukraine would lead to the downfall of Russia.
What Putin's doing, he's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all, okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
The Kremlin hit back, calling Trump's gone absolutely crazy jive as a case of emotional overload. In a statement loaded with sarcasm, the Russians still thanked the American president for his assistance in launching Ukraine peace negotiations. Just a month back, in a White House roast, Donald Trump had also blasted Ukraine's president Volodymyr Zelensky for talking the way he did on the war.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless. God bless. You will not have a war.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because you're in no position to dictate that. Remember this. You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel. We're going to feel very good.
You will feel influence.
We're going to feel very good and very strong.
You will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed yourself to be in a very bad position, and he happens to be right about it.
From the very beginning of the war.
You're not in a good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having cards.
Playing cards.
Right now, you don't.
You're
playing cards. You're playing cards. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country. That's
with
back
all
to you.
respect to your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said they should
Have
have.
you said thank you once this
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the opposition in October. Offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not
Yeah.
speaking loudly. Your country's
Can I-
in big
can I-
trouble.
can I
Wait a
answer?
minute. No,
Can
you've
I
done a lot
answer?
of talking. Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this.
I...
You have a damn
We-
good chance of
we are
coming out
staying,
okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are thankful. I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
alone.
cabinet,
You
and
haven't
not
been
only
alone.
in this cabinet.
We gave you, through
I
this
said thank
stupid
you.
president, $350 billion.
You voted
we gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and your
voted
men
for
are
your
brave,
president.
but they had to use our military.
What about West?
If you didn't have
You
our
invited
military
me-
equipment,
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days.
Invited out of the American.
In fact, it has become a White House ritual. From making snarky remarks on Keir Starmer of UK, to chiding Emmanuel Macron of France, to schooling South Africa's Cyril Ramaphosa just a couple of days back. Has Trump gone too far in disrespecting world leaders?
Now, you see, the way Putin has spoken to him today, Madhav, you know, the way Putin has spoken to Trump, I love it. Someone needs to tell Trump that he's losing it. I want to start with Charles Kupchan from Georgetown. He's joining us today from Greece. I welcome Maxim Kuznetsov, chairman of the Russian-Asian Business Council, Anand Ahuja, co-founder of Indian Americans for Trump, and Professor Madhav Nalapat. Mr. Kupchan, Putin has said that Trump is not emotionally stable. I think that is the sum total of what he said, because he said he has emotional overload after Putin was called completely crazy by Trump. Now, Putin is not going to take disrespect like that. What will Trump do now that Putin has given it back?
Well, I think that from the very beginning, from the first day he took office, Trump has had a very inconsistent and erratic foreign policy. He changes his mind on tariffs, on Gaza, on Ukraine every 15 minutes. So it's less a question of emotional override than it is that a president who has instincts and impulses, but he doesn't have a strategy. He doesn't have a vision of where he wants to go. And I think what we've seen with Putin is that Trump underestimated Putin's commitment to subjugate Ukraine. He thought he could pick up the phone on day one and get a deal with Putin to end the war. And now Trump is frustrated. In many respects, Putin is sticking his tongue out at Trump. He is carrying out the highest level of attacks on Kyiv, ballistic missiles, drones, that we've seen since the beginning of the war. And he's making Trump look bad. And Trump doesn't like to look bad, and he's angry. And that's why you've seen over the last 24 hours this exchange of words. And I think the end result will be that Trump changes his position and that he ultimately decides
But then he will also
to
lose
increase
his
sanctions
face.
against Russia and to send more arms to Ukraine.
But then he will also lose his face. I mean, he will have no standing. Maxim, how do you view Vladimir Putin's response to Trump, where and it's an official Kremlin response, where they've said that Trump is getting emotional. He's got emotional overload, which means Trump is under stress and he doesn't know how to manage his stress, and he's taking it out by calling Putin completely crazy.
Kremlin would like to give to Trump chance to save a face, because this kind of expressions that he said is maybe non-professional because all leaders need to save moderate rhetoric in such kind of specific cases. We need to understand that Mr. Trump really has no strategy because he said that he will finish Russian-Ukrainian conflict in one day. After it, he says that it will take 100 days, and right now he has no cuts to finish this conflict because Ukraine would like to continue this conflict because they would like to receive more money and more funds for this country from Western countries, and Russia needs to solve real reasons of this conflict. You know, the previous Ukrainian president prepared a book that calls Ukraine is not Russia. All last 30 years, Ukraine was a project like as anti-Russia. They reject Soviet heritage. They reject key Russian language. They reject key another points that make Russia and Ukraine was like as brothers nations, and due to this conflict, they would like to deepen ties with West.
So Maxim, he has no control. You see, this it's so clear here, Maxim. So sorry to interrupt you there, but just taking off on what you said Trump has no strategy. Trump has no strategy. Now, Professor Nalapat, Trump says, I have a strategy. My strategy is money. I don't care about your ideology. I don't care about your values. I don't care about Quad. I don't care about strategic understanding with any country. You give me money, I'm on your side. And that's what he did with the Syrians. He told the Saudis, you gave me money and hence I'm going to do business with the Syrians. He sent a special envoy to Damascus today. But the whole world is also pushing him back, and he's losing. I think he's losing. Look at the way in which he voluntarily deferred the tariffs, the tariff threat with Europe. It's like he's looking for an excuse to get out of his own blackmail. He's losing, isn't he, Madhav?
Well, Arnab, those who are around him, who know his mind, and he know what he's going to do next, are certainly not losing. They're making a very great sum of money. What they do is they know that Trump is going to say something and the stock prices will all fall. And then, of course, he'll reverse course, like on EU now. First tariffs, stocks fell. Then he's given a reprieve, stocks rise again. So whoever is, having Trump's year, let's put it that way. I'm not saying Donald Trump is involved in this. There's big-time corruption. I don't think Trump will dare to be corrupt when he's president of the United States. I don't think so. He's afraid of his base, afraid of the American people. But there are people around him, whisperers in his ear who are basically telling him, yes, do this, do that. And calling, Putin, he's got the largest nuclear the capability in the whole world. And you basically say that this man is crazy. And if he were crazy, he has been in power for about now 25 years.
No, you say he said completely crazy. He said in his tweet, he said he's completely crazy.
Well, all I can say, Arnab, is that Trump has obviously been told by somebody, you can have a 2022 April solution for Ukraine with the status quo. Now, the point is, first, that's not going to be acceptable to Zelensky. Zelensky is surviving on the basis of Western support. And may I tell you, he's buying it now from the US. He's buying weapons by selling rare earths to them and by basically mortgaging his entire country. And as for Trump, as you correctly said, he doesn't look beyond dollars. For him, everything is dollars. And the result is that, he's not a reliable partner anymore for countries. In the Indo-Pacific, whose side is he taking? We don't know. We don't know anything about him. Frankly, it's a scary kind of situation. But if he's going to get a 2022 solution, it will not come because Putin has gone. That he offered in April 2022, it was good. Biden refused it very foolishly, in my view, very foolishly. But no, yeah, unless Putin goes for jugular, he's finished in Russia. And as for Zelensky, the problem with him being a partner in peace, if he goes for anything except carry on this war, which, by the way, is very profitable for the Ukrainian mafia. They sell weapons, and most of the money that's given to them in the form of money, they use it for other purposes. The mafia is very active in narcotics. They've allowed China to come all over the place.
Yeah.
All over the place. So very frankly, Arnab, I'm sorry to say, I think Donald Trump needs somebody who knows geopolitics around him, who whispers in his ear, because it's clear all these guys are looking at is dollar signs. And if you look at dollar signs,
they're only
you'll feel in your geopolitics and you'll destroy your country.
Well, American economy is in such a bad shape. Anand Ahuja, you're a Republican, you're co-founder of Indian Americans for Trump, you're a Trump supporter. Would you not see the writing on the wall with a $36 trillion debt? So much in debt, being rude to the whole world, failing on the global front. And it is America that had to pull back from its own threats with China. It is America which had to pull back from its own threats with Europe. Nobody is listening to Trump. He just puts out these tweets on messages on Truth Social. Everybody laughs at them every morning. Around the world, all Trump gets is a good laugh. But I'm sorry, I'm saying it seriously. Nobody's taking him seriously anymore. Nobody's taking him seriously anymore. Certainly not here in India.
Arnab, with due respect, whatever you said in your monologue and whatever you just said right now, I don't agree with you even on a single point. With respect to Trump's foreign policy, one of your panelists said that Trump does not have a clear foreign policy. I don't agree with that.
Maxim said that. Maxim from Moscow.
The fact is that Trump has one very crystal clear foreign policy, that no more killing of innocent people in the world. Trump actually has no business. America does not have any business. Let Ukrainian soldiers die. Let Russian soldiers die. We don't have any business to go there. The very fact Trump has taken some initiative because Trump does not want innocent people being killed in that particular war. Americans are not being killed. There are only two world leaders, in Modi or Trump, who can bring these two leaders to a negotiating table to end this war. Somehow, at least Trump is making an effort. You should appreciate that. So far, Modi has not taken any initiative to bring these two leaders to the negotiating table. Coming back to your question, USA has lost its prestige in the world. In fact, during Biden time, USA had absolutely no respect in the world. At least when Trump has come, foreign investment is coming to United States. Trump's recent visit to Middle East, he brought trillions of dollars in investment to United States. Trump is being recognized at least where the USA has regained its position now. Now, coming back to Trump is probably the only leader in this country who has realized that these useless wars have absolutely not benefited anyone.
I don't think it requires anyone to be a genius to realize that. Just 1 minute. See, Anand, I have one specific point. Anand, one point to you. Your situation is so bad, that all the money that the Saudis have promised and the world has promised is only equal to 60 days of debt. In 60 days, you are amassing $6.5 to $7 billion in debt every day. All the money the Saudis have promised you will be consumed in additional debt over 70 days. So what I'm saying is, Anand, all I'm saying is the Americans need the help of the world. But with such a disrespectful attitude, you can't talk to Putin like that. You can't talk about India like that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Trump policy is carrot and stick. Trump can be very harsh. Trump can be very soft.
People know that. There's no suspense. People know the moment Trump issues a threat that he's going to backtrack. It's known. Ask Maxim. There's no carrot and stick. You show the stick, people know you're hiding a carrot behind you. So nobody's taking it seriously.
Now, with due respect, genocide of Hindus in Jammu and Kashmir, which Indian leader has taken the stand the way Trump has taken a stand against the African president?
No. 1 minute. I'm very happy for that. I'm very happy for that. It's good he's done that, but he's done that for political reasons.
Do you have any leader in India who could have taken or who has taken that kind of stand
I'm sorry, Anand.
Trump has taken stand against the president of Africa.
Anand, a man who does not know how many years India has been independent for, and who says the Kashmir problem is a 1,000-year-old problem, has no knowledge about my country's history, politics, or past. He has.
We are not talking about Trump. Now you are bringing a Trump's policy on Kashmir.
No. I'm saying he buys the disrespect. Okay, let Maxim respond. Okay, Anand, I'm not about views. I'm saying the disrespect. Maxim, you can't talk to people like that, whether it's Putin, whether it's any other world leader. Maxim, you want to respond to Anand there?
So, it is really disrespectful to call Russian president so Trump's called. I think that right now, as you know, United States reduces military presence both in Eastern Europe and both in Eastern Asia. They has some plans to reduce military based in South Korea and other countries. It means that United States is under both moral and both financial bankruptcy, because they has real problem both with ideology and both with financial due to higher debt, and right now they need new friends. They need to develop relations with another country. They need and develop relations with countries like us, India, like us, Russia. But foreign policy of Mr. Trump right now is unpredictable and unstrategical.
No, I think also, I thought he was very disrespectful towards India when he put out a hoax statement saying, I used trade to blackmail India and Pakistan. This is, the Ministry of External Affairs clearly said there is no issue of trade. You want to make a statement to your own constituency, but you must be accurate to facts. And then after we contradicted him, there's no counter. There's no counter either. So, Madhav, we are in a serious situation here. I think there's a fair amount of cynicism in India about Trump now. That's building up, especially last couple of weeks. You're muted, Anand, Madhav.
I'd like to say that our dear President Trump, he wants to fight a war with candy, in which basically you throw candy and chocolates and flowers at each other, and then it'll be solved. Now, very frankly, what's he talking about India? Our American guest, with all due respect, Prime Minister Modi has been very forthright on every issue. He was very forthright, for example, in Pahalgam. And what did dear Mr. Trump do? The great anti-terror man, the great man who would have finished off ISIS and Al-Qaeda. First of all, the Doha Accord, on the basis of which Biden withdrew from Afghanistan, was signed by the Secretary of State under Trump, not Secretary of State under Biden. And Biden used that fig leaf to hurriedly withdraw, which was a disaster for the United States. And the second thing is 1 trillion. Look, you don't get $1 trillion in the newspaper on the same headline every day. My guess is, if he was smart politically, which I don't think he is, he would have done this closer to 2026 midterms and got the credit. Now everybody's forgotten about that trillion. And you're giving, this kind of, are you selling weapons to the Qataris?
Yeah.
Where are they landing? Where is Hamas? Where is Hamas? Where is Hezbollah?
No.
Where are these people? They're in Qatar. And you're giving that country, weapons.
You're getting a plane from Qatar.
What's wrong with you?
So you're getting a plane from Qatar, so you're doing business with Hamas. Right? You're getting money from the Saudis. You're doing business with that Al-Shara, the Syrian guy. I think there have to be some morals in this. Ladies and gentlemen, the overwhelming feeling here in India, of course, is that Trump has overplayed his card. I predict he's going to be in trouble in 6 months. 6 months, ladies and gentlemen.
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।